what is up? In today's video I'm revisiting the R1 SE, but this time it's the R1 SE Plus, which only means it's got a 50 milliamp battery, I think, and it translates to 70 hours of battery life. I think the R1 SE had less battery life because of its maybe smaller battery. Maybe it's a 250 milliamp battery, and maybe the MCU was not as efficient as the Nordic MCU, so it was a shorter battery life, and that's why they come out with the SE Plus with bigger battery and longer battery life. Now, if you've seen my previous R1 SE videos, I had a bad experience with my first copy. Firstly, it was not flat at the bottom, and it was rocking left to right. And in case you didn't know, this is what the packaging looks like. R1 SE and R1 SE Plus. It does not say R1 SE on the main box itself. It does on the label R1 SE Plus. Let me show you the Pro Max. Pro Max Unbox is kind of like this, and the SE cheaper models have a cheaper kind of packaging. So if you bought the Pro or Pro Max, you get the premium experience, you know, like a Visor opens like this as well, like a drawer. So it gives you a bit of that Lamzu kind of feel, like you're opening something expensive. Now, like I was saying, first of all, my old R1 SE was not flat at the bottom and was rocking left to right, especially on an extra soft mouse pad. It was kind of like, it wasn't, you could feel that it wasn't flat, so it wasn't good. So there you go, very simple. You get the wire, you get the mouse, and that's it. That's all you get. You don't get extra feet. You don't get the extra grips like the Pro and Pro Max. And I was saying, I must admit that the old R1 SE that I had, that was faulty. It didn't the flatness thing didn't really affect the performance of the mouse, but it was somewhat annoying, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? You can feel the mouse rocking left and right under your hand, so that was not good. There you go. This is the R1 SE. It's got the SE Plus logo on it. Everything else remains the same. Oh my goodness, is this? This is slightly... Oh no, it's not. It's fine. So this one is not center heavy, but there is a sound. You hear that, right? I'm not exaggerating. There is a loose sound already right out of the box. This is the Pro Max. Also have a sound. Damn, I didn't notice this from the Pro Max, but this sounds like a wire, and this sounds like something a little bit heavier. So as I'm swiping left and right, I can feel it. Let me move this box out of the way. As I was saying, stock, the feet are really nice. Look, check out that feet. Okay, I'm definitely having a high spot on the mouse again, because this is what it's supposed to spin like. This is what a flat mouse spins like, and this is what a mouse with a high spot in the middle of the mouse spins like. A lot of people show you videos, oh, my mouse pad is incredible because it is so fast, and this is what is happening. You actually have a high spot in the middle of the mouse where your sensor is. This part is the highest point, and that's why it's spinning this much. No, the mouse pad is not amazingly fast. It's just the mouse is not flat, so it gives you the illusion that it is fast. Oh, I know what's shaking now. I know what's shaking now. It's not the internals, it's that. So my bad for assuming the worst in this mouse. There you go, no more sound. But it's still got a high spot in the middle of the mouse, which makes the mouse feel like it is super fast. Wow, this is the new ESP Tangdao glass pad. Check it out. man, look at how fast my mouse is. This is what you call a good mouse pad. The Tangdao glass pad. Check it out. Now, the other issue I had with the old mouse was the M2 trigger had a popping sound. This one is absolutely fantastic. This one feels like this one actually. It feels like it's really nice and premium. No difference at all. Very, very nice. In fact, this one is might be even slightly better than the KL switches on this one. I think these are Huano's. These are not blue shell pink dots, but they're Huano something. So I had a popping sound on the old R1, and this was really annoying, and it kept me from using the mouse. If I'm being honest, I kept it out of the rotation. Now the biggest issue, of course, was discovering that the R1 SE was not capable of 2K polling, despite clearly advertising it was, you know, one of the main selling points of the Beacon MCU hardware that was in the R1 and R1 SE. You know, the 2K dongle is so elusive that their own customer service didn't even know that they did not exist. But anyway, to make the long story short, they have acknowledged their mistake and they cannot deliver the 2K polling because a 2K dongle simply does not exist. Now let me just plug this in and see if we can get this to work. Truth be told, 2K, oh, it's working. Check it out, it's already popped up. It's already popped up. And I am getting the R1 SE on my VGN hub here. Now you can see on the left it says Dragonfly mouse and it shows the old F1. It is actually the Pro Max that is connected to it, but they don't have the yellow graphics for it, so they did not show R1 mouse. Instead they show an old F1 Dragonfly mouse on it instead. So that is a little bit weird. The yellow one, of course, is the newest one. So maybe they've not updated the V hub or whatever, so there's no yellow Pro Max showing. But the R1 SE Plus is showing, and it does show R1 SE Plus. Yeah, everything, it looks like it works the same. And I think I'm going to main this mouse because I actually want to see if the cheapest mouse is actually good. So I want to know that, and that is why I got this mouse, and I want to see if I can main this mouse and make it my #1 mouse. Again, I was talking about the shortcomings, the you know, why I was upset with my first R1 SE, not capable of 2K and blah blah blah. Truth be told, even without 2K polling capabilities, a fully functioning R1 SE without any trigger or QC issues would be very good value for money, because overall you are getting a really good shape with great stock skates. Now, even without that high spot, if it wasn't higher in the center of the mouse, this is still a great, you know, it's got great skates. Check out the stock. You know, I'm really happy with the stock skates. These stock skates, I don't want to remove them. I don't want to move them. I want to leave them on the mouse because they're, you know, they're good. Overall, you're getting a great shape. Stock skates are good. You don't ever want to change them out. All I want from this mouse is good click and a flat base. So I got one out of the two problems that I have. So I do have good clicks. I hope they will hold, but I don't have a flat base. So this is the problem with the flat base. It makes the mouse appear as though it is a lot faster than it is. Of course, this one doesn't have the coating. This one is just pure plastic. The Pro and Pro Max has a rubberized coating, which is kind of feels premium, feels nice. But I also like the one without the coating because, you know, even though it doesn't have a coating, it does have a little bit of plastic smooth texture. I don't know what, maybe they sanded it, maybe they didn't, I don't know, maybe it just came out of the mold like this, but it feels just as good. I like it. I don't have a problem with it. I think I can cope with it without even using any grips. Side buttons doesn't sound as great, but they're fine, they're normal. Some expensive mouses are even worse than this, so I have no problem with the side buttons. I feel like they could be better, but I'm not unhappy with it. M1 and M2 feels great. I think this is going to be a really great mouse. Now, just to recap the specs, if you're new here and not seen any of my R1 videos, this is the R1 series of mouse, VXE R1s. There are approximately 5 models. They all have the same shape, the Sora V2 shape, X2 shape, or XM2WE kind of shape. If you're familiar with that shape, there are 5 models, all of them the same shape. There's the R1, there's the R1 SE, this one is the R1 SE Plus. These 3 models are the entry models. They are 1, cheaper, 2, they have an older model sensor, which is the beacon or something. They have an older MCU as well. Sorry, they haven't. When I say there's an older sensor, it means it is not a 3395. They call it a 3395 SE, but it's actually some 3320 or whatever, an old one which they renamed to 3395 SE. They have an older MCU. Most of the better mouses are using a Nordic MCU like the Pro Max. This one is a beacon MCU. It's not worse, it's not better. Maybe it uses more energy, but it's still a mouse. It points to wherever you put it, so it works. Again, R1, the 3 models, R1, R1 SE, R1 SE Plus, does not have the rubberized coating on the exterior. Number 5, they only have 1K polling rate. They forget about the 2K polling. It does not exist on this planet. Number 6, they don't come with extra PTFE skates and the grip thing. Extra grips like you get on the Pro Max, you get extra feet, you get extra grips. This one does not. But there's an advantage here. The R1 SE and R1 SE Plus has some special thing, which is this button over here. If you notice, you've got Bluetooth functionality. Pro and Pro Max does not have Bluetooth, so you've got an extra Bluetooth functionality on the VXE R1, R1 SE and R1 SE Plus, which is kind of like strange because normally mouses don't, but it's nice to have it and it works. I've tried it. I've got a little arrow on my phone. I can click on stuff. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of nice to have it. That it works. It's kind of it's kind of cool, I think, anyway, although I don't use it a lot or whatever. And the other 2 models, the Pro and Pro Max, of course, has Huano switches. The Pro model has Huano switches. The Pro Max has Kale switches, so they're slightly different. They're more or less the same, but some people will argue that they're very different. I feel that the Huano switches are slightly lighter than this one. This one is Kale switches, but it's it's very, very similar. In the blind test you might not even be able to tell. And also the Pro Max has a 500 milliamp battery, which is the bigger battery, which is what this R1 SE has. I think it has a 500 milliamp battery, and the R1 and R1 SE has 250 milliamp battery, which means less or shorter battery life. This one should have a long battery life, and I'm looking forward to it. Everything feels great except it still has a high spot in the middle of the mouse, which makes it appear as though I'm playing on glass pad. This is the Tangdao glass infused Shidenkai V2 inspired glass pad. Check it out. So this is a little bit disappointing about that high spot, but when I put it on the table, just to show to you guys, right, when I put it on the table, there is no left and right rocking. There's probably front and back rocking. yeah, there is a little bit of front and back rocking. So the same problem as the R1, my first model, my first attempt at the R1 SE, there's still a high spot in the middle of the mouse. So that's about the only thing that's wrong with it. But on the mouse pad, it feels, it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't feel like it's going to be. The other mouse was a lot more obvious left and right rocking, the R1 SE. So this one is actually kind of acceptable, and yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy this mouse. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll figure it out. Anyway, hope you found some useful information on the R1 SE, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.